sorcerers from the future want anything to do with the past. That's horrible. Ah, and there's Angela. Now, I've seen this scene a few times already, and there's a special thing in this scene that's coming up that I'm going to point out because I just think that it puts a lot of light onto something. I'm going to explain once we get to that point. Hmm. Squall romantic? Please. Uh-oh. Philip's snogging a girl in the library. Hmm. Ah, see, this completely just brings down the mood. Huh. So Squall comes to a brilliant revelation that even if all things turn against her, he's still going to be her knight. Aww. He'll become just like Zephyr, except he won't be under someone else's control. Oh, don't talk like that, Renault. That's horrible. Hmm. Yeah, trust Squall. He's bound to come up with a way. Hmm. Well, okay. I do remember Squall saying, just stay close to me. But I think he just meant, stay close to me. I don't think there's any other hidden meaning there. Hmm. Squall, you can't blame everything on the GF, my friend. Hmm. Uh-oh. Aw, that's actually kind of sweet in a sense. Alright, here's the thing I wanted to tell you guys. If you guys remember the opening cutscene of the game, it has some text that comes up. And it seems like it doesn't make any sense to me if you read it. But after watching this little bit unfold, you actually start to understand where that text came from. If you have to remember, it says, I'll be waiting for you. If you come here, you'll find me. And at the very end it says, I promise. And it then shows Renoa standing in a field. Doesn't that make sense now, guys? She was standing in the field waiting for Squall. That's why she was standing there. I only came to figure this out recently, and it made perfect sense. I thought you guys would be interested in that. I mean, I know some people might not figure that out, but I figured it out. Just wanted to see if maybe you guys had already come to that conclusion. But that's all I wanted to say on that. Hmm. Oh, great. Oh, well, if it's the Ultimacy, then let's go. Hmm. Alright, so seeing this happen, now we need to head back to Esthar. But not before something, not before we get a little bit from Ida, or Edia. Ugh, I swear to goodness God, I'm gonna end up butchering that name until I finish this game. So now she's gonna go over how she became a sorceress the first time. Hmm. The thing is though, I kind of feel bad for Edia because we go through a portion of this game thinking she's the bad guy. Now she kind of plays a restricted role. It just, it just feels so forced to have her here now. I'd much rather we just killed her off than her be here now. Call me cold-hearted, but her role right now is kind of pointless to the game. I mean, yes, she plays a role, and yes, it's a decent role in the game. But at this point in the game, it just seems like her role's kind of like, plastered on there. Well, like an afterthought. So now we have to head back to Esthar. So we're going to autopilot ourselves there because that's the cool way to go. As I was saying, I just feel like her role here is kind of like, eh. But then again, I guess, this game is different from all the other Final Fantasy games because typically other Final Fantasy games, the people you have in your team are the people who play the biggest role in the game. Well, in this one, everyone plays a role, but the people who are on your team don't seem to make much of a difference as to who plays a big role or not. There it is. So now we have to make our way to the Presidential Palace, which, God forbid I can actually get there get there the first time without getting lost. And for those of you still watching, for those of you who are probably wondering, I still have encounter none turned on, so nothing's attacking me while I'm doing this. Mostly because there's so much stuff going to be happening anyways that I don't see the point in doing random encounters. I mean, if you have some kind of objection to it, feel free to mention your objection, but I'm not going to bother with it. Okay, I'm trying to remember how to get there. I think it's this way. Not gonna lie, guys, this gets a little bit frustrating to get there. But I think I should be able to manage this. I'm assuming that big thing in the middle of the city is a presidential palace. The problem is that they don't make it very easy to get there. Oh, 9,000 gil. Yeah, it's too bad gil means nothing now at this point in the game. I mean, seriously, at this point, magic means more than gil. Great. You know what? And the messed up thing is, though, I think I know how to get back there. Okay, we'll go this way. I think if I take the other way, I'm going to end up right back where I started again. Yeah, for those of you who are wondering how I'm having such a big problem getting through Esthar, this place is confusing. Are you kidding? Oh, okay, I'm up top, not down, down the bottom. Sweet. And down there is Illinois, who you can fight as many times as you like. Running, running, running. Okay, I got a good idea where I am now. We're gonna go up this way. It's kind of ironic because if I would have taken a different way here, I think I might have gotten here quicker. But then again, you know what? I've never been much of a pro at navigating this town. I mean, granted, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I've only played through this game completely, like maybe 3 or 4 different, well, 2 or 3 different times. I was more of a 7 and 9 person myself, and even a 10 if you really want to get technical. Don't get me wrong, 8's a classic nonetheless, but it just wasn't the one I wanted to play through constantly. Which I guess it's just personal preference, I suppose. I mean, you know, you ask most people if they like 8, you're gonna get mixed responses. You ask most people if they like 7, they're all gonna go squee mode and go completely just bonkers. I'm not saying that's a bad thing either. 7's a great game. It's always 8, but still, it feels like the later one in the series just kind of gets the least publicity, or the least amount of fame. But you know what? That just happens. So we finally make it to the presidential palace, and yeah, we're just going to keep going. Yeah, walk past these guys, take another screen, and we go inside. Hmm. So for those that couldn't figure this out by now, the president of Esthar is Laguna. I don't know. This was actually kind of a twist to me when I first came out when this first happened. Hmm. They thought we were fairies. That's not really helping your sanity here, Laguna. Hmm. Boy, Laguna, the confidence your friends have in you is stifling. Yeah. There's actually a little twist to this, guys. I don't know if you guys have figured this out. I might explain it at the end of the game, but I'm not gonna explain it now. I think this will just throw too much of you to a major loop. Hmm. Yeah, he'll talk however he wants, but I wish he would not use that doggone accent. Hmm. No, I don't want to hear how. I can barely stand hearing you now. No, I did not know you could actually compress time. This is, a little bit stifling. I didn't think time was matter, let alone that you could actually compress it. You know what? Seriously though, if I was Adele, I would be really ticked. I'm not gonna lie, guys. If someone froze me for who knows how many years, I don't think Adele's been frozen for very long. Maybe what, 20 something years, maybe tops. Maybe 16, 17 years. I just don't think she'd be very happy. So I would not blame Adele for coming to kill Laguna and Dr. Rodin. Hmm. Okay, that's doable. You know, I mean, we've killed evil sorceresses before, haven't we? Hmm. Oh, okay. So basically, all time compression does is mix the future, present, and past. That's beautiful. Again, though, what I don't get is, uh, are you telling me we've been under the impression that we've been being manipulated by a sorceress from the future? I mean, sure, we've heard about it, but it's a good thing this is a Final Fantasy game because under most circumstances, this entire game would be considered insane and just ridiculous. But you know what? Okay. Hmm. And apparently Laguna shares my same opinion. And I'm going to make this very clear. I believe the Ragnarok is probably the greatest airship ever conceived in Final Fantasy history. Regardless of what people may think of Final Fantasy VIII, I think that is probably one of the most awe-inspiring airships, aside from Final Fantasy VII's multi-shape-shifting airship. And if you remember that, if you remember how many times that airship changed shape, you will understand why I say that. But I think the Ragnarok is probably the most creative airship design ever. But then again, you have to look at it from where it's coming from. Hmm. So we go to Lunatic Pandora and rescue alone. From there, we have to take on Sorceress Adele and show her what it means to really be handed a brutal defeat by a bunch of kids. Adele's gonna pass her powers to Renoa. Then Ultima is gonna take over Renoa. Then Alone's gonna send Renoa back to the past, and then bring back Renoa. And then we head to the future compressed time. Now Laguna goes on one of these weird emotional rants, which doesn't make any sense to me. Okay. Laguna has definitely changed. And Laguna has another one of his weird leg spasms. Seriously, the girl isn't even in the room. How are you doing this to yourself? Good lord. I was gonna mention something about that, but there's just no point. I could probably spend this entire walkthrough probably spend the entire rest of this walkthrough talking about how retarded his leg just seizes up out of nowhere. So now we had to hit the Tears Point. using the autopilot feature again because let's face it, guys. Come on, stop. Thank you. Alright, now I'm just gonna pilot this thing right into it. So apparently this airship comes packed with weapons, which I did not know it came packed with weapons. I did not know that on the bottom of this thing is a giant buster cannon. Seriously, whoever came up with the idea for this airship was clearly thinking this through. They gave this thing weapons. If I recall, the other airships never had weapons. And I'm not including 10 because that comes after this one, but still. Look at that thing. That thing's huge. It's like a massive cannon. And of course, as you can tell, the shields are just no match for us. And Selphie is just loving this, you know, oh hell, she's just getting such a kick out of this. So as we come barging through the shield with our mega cannon mounted on the bottom of us, we blow it open. Just, oh my goodness. Oh, and catch this, guys. The Ragnarok has hands. Or claws. Look at this. This thing is truly a dragon. Look. I really got to start asking myself, Square, how do you do it? Just, my goodness, this is probably the most awesome concept ever. Now, I'm going to be testing something. A friend, another subscriber who I recently obtained wants to be able to get back here because he can't level up here. Now, I am positive, even after you kill Sepher, you can come back here. So, I mean, I know after you take on Adele, you can't come back here. I know that for sure, but I'm positive if you can do it earlier than that. You can come back to this airship. You just gotta know your way back. So, if I have to, guys, I will gladly show him during this walkthrough. That's the type of guy that I am. So we have to leave the airship. But before I go down there, I need to make sure I have everything, so I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Though I probably should have went with something different, but you know what? I'm going to go with what I have now. Just for the record, Bahamut's ability of ability times 4 is a godsend for Squall, especially when Squall has a whole bunch of different kinds of GFs and stuff. So now we have to take on Rajan and Fujin again. I'm more amazed that Rajan's even walking after the fact that Fujin just about blew out his kneecaps. And if you don't remember, look it up again. So now they're telling us to give up Elon. Now we're telling them to give up Elon because we're not giving up Renoa, and we're not gonna let them free Adele either. So they can shove it. Again, seriously, Rajan, how are you even walking? Last time we saw you, she hauled off and like football punted you right in the kneecap. If I were you, dude, I would probably still be icing that knee down. Like seriously, like I've been hit in the kneecap before. That crap hurts. No joke. So this fight really isn't all that difficult. In fact, they're even easier than they were before. So we're going to wait until Renoa's turn pops up. We are then going to haste on Squall if I can find it. And then we are going to cast Aura on Squall. I need to make sure I keep Zell from going buck wild and just rampaging somebody. Overall, these guys are actually not all that difficult to take on. In fact, you should have a pretty easy... Oh, goodness sakes, are you kidding? Oh my goodness, did he just hit me for 4K? Are you kidding? Ah, completely throw off my groove. Just completely. With the threat of Zell whooping my butt, just, thank you. That is the first time an enemy has ever done me a favor. I am happy. Thank you, Rajan. I don't officially hate you. Your girlfriend, on the other hand, I can't stand her. Piece of advice for those of you who are just now playing this. At this point in the game, you want to make sure everyone has a strength stat like in the 200s. Now, it doesn't have to be maxed out, but somewhere within the 200 range would probably be best. Great, now she's all confused. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, as you can see, she takes hit. Oh, oh no. Oh, eat it, Fujin, eat it! Talk about complete overkill. There is no way she is getting away from this. Look at these numbers, guys. 999s all the way down. Just, if she even walks away from this, I swear, if she survives, I'm going to be impressed. No boss has yet to survive the grueling beating of the Lionheart limit break. No, she did not survive it. In fact, you know what? I think we killed her like 8 times over. No joke. So that's pretty much the Rajan and Fujin fight. If you are even slightly prepared, you should have no problem with this fight whatsoever, considering the fact that, well, let's face it, if you have your ultimate weapons, you should be pretty good to go. Again, a strength stat like over 200 will guarantee you a victory. Very cool, very cool. So they run off. In fact, due to the fact I don't think a lot of you guys know how I'm set up, I might show that I'm not going to show it now, though. Right now is not the time. I want to just keep going. So we're just going... Okay. Since we're in a random battle, I might as well explain the interesting thing about this place. All the monsters here are level 1. Which means you should be able to kill everything here. Which means if you're trying to gain levels, it's not going to work. What you'd have to do is you'd have to have Odin appear, or Odin appear to help you, because, well, that's how he is, and he just loves the camera. Say cheese, Odin, or Odin. Oh, I swear to God, I'm going to butcher these names to no end. So there he goes, as he just randomly rapes 3 different things at once. As I was saying, everything here is level 1, so if you're trying to get rare items, say such as the item known as energy crystals from, if you didn't want to take the method I showed you in my helpful hint video, you could easily get them from the behemoths here, although I'm not too sure how high the drop rate is, but you'd have to use the Tonberry ability to level them up. So you would have to do some excessive gaming to actually have any meaning to do anything here. So before we can do anything else, we run into Biggs and Wedge, who are apparently forced to take orders from, well, obviously Zephyr. What bothers me isn't the fact they're taking orders from them. What bothers me is the fact that they're still working, that they still have a job. Give me a break. They've suffered, like, what, 2 demotions? Just, you would think they'd just give up, but now Biggs pretty much quits, and, well, because Wedge is pretty much Biggs' slave, he's gonna quit too. Because that's just how he is. And these 2 actually do come back in a later game, and I'm gonna show that to you guys. They'll come back in another game. Actually, no, this is their second or first reappearance. Do I want to save it? No. Actually, I do want to use the tent, because I went through the hassle of buying me a whole bunch of items. So we're gonna use that, and we make sure I don't need anything else out of here. What's this? 80 health. Oh, I might have to go through and take a look at that later. Turtle shell. I'm sorry, guys, if I'm getting distracted. I'm just, you know, I spent all that time training, and so I'm now having to go through and make sure that my characters have everything they need. And there's a lot of work involved, so I'm just making sure. So, and just for the record, you don't have to have 9,999 health in this point in the game. The fact that I have that much health is slightly overkill, and I needed that much health to ensure that I could actually pose some threats during the last few videos I've done. But you know what, though? I think even if that's the case, I should be able to do a good job. Now, I'm not going to do everything here, because if you guys remember, there's the Lunatic Pandora excavation site where we came with Laguna. Ugh. I did a lot of little extra things like pushing boulders, blowing stuff up. I think if you take the other elevator somewhere along the way, or if you take the other way when we get here, you'll be able to go through those places again and obtain items. Now, I'm not going to go through that because I don't really need the items anyways. But I really think that you guys should take a look at that and explore that. Just make sure you do everything I showed in the video, though. I think that was actually part 20. So if you really want to look that up, it's part 20 if I recall. So yeah, hint hint. If you guys choose to ever play this game with my walkthrough. Which I guess that'd be a big honor to myself if someone chose to do that, but okay. So we're not going to go to a save point just yet. Keep going up and we get into another fight. Again, all the monsters here, unless you use level up on them, are actually level 1. Which means that none of them should have... okay. I didn't see this one coming. I'm just going to run away from this one. That's Illinois, but I think he might be weaker, but still, I don't really want to fight him again. Again, guys, powerful magic. I cannot stress this enough. If you're gonna fight Illinois, fight him when he's at a good level, and get Pain, and I believe it's Holy off him. Holy is a godsend to Junction to, as far as having 100 of it. I know that sounds like a lot of magic to draw, but trust me, it's so worth it. So we run into Raijin and Fujin again. And this time they have a surprise for us. That same robot that threw our B team out of here. Alright, this fight really isn't that difficult. If you have good strength stats in all your characters, you should be able to just dismantle this thing with maybe 1 or 2 limit breaks. Which is seriously all you need. I mean, granted, I'm a little bit more powerful than most people would be at this point in the game, but, I mean, you really shouldn't have too much of a problem with this. In all honesty, and, you know, maybe I'm not the best example, but I'm just going to cast triple on Renoa. He also has Flare, Demi, and Asuna, so make sure you pick that up. That's probably that's really useful, actually. Actually, I have to recommend Flare. Flare is probably one of the best junctioning spells outside of Ultima. So I'm gonna throw on Aura and Squall first, while beefing up all of our speeds because, well, this is how we roll. This guy isn't gonna do too many attacks to you, but he does have a slightly powerful counterattack. It may at my level it does maybe 900 damage, so it's not really all that powerful. But it is something to consider if you don't have a lot of health. Okay, it does like 1,000 damage. If you don't have a lot of health and you're not exactly as beefy as me, you might have a problem with it. But unless that's the case, you should be able to deal with it just fine. I'm just gonna lay on with the limit. Oh, awesome. 2. Sweet. Huh. Today is my lucky day. So let's see if he survives this. I don't think he's going to. No, seriously, guys, I don't think he's really going to survive this. I just don't think it's possible. If he does survive it, I'll be thoroughly impressed. So we're just going to slice and dice with Lionheart again. And he is defeated. Okay, so outside the fact that I made that look incredibly easy with 1 limit break, that just shows just how overpowered and just how awesome Lionheart truly is. And again, guys, you need to have a decent strength stat for that. You need to have the ultimate weapon, because goodness, there's so much I want to talk about. First off, Squall's limit breaks are reflected off of his weapons. As you guys know, every 2 weapons, for the most part, they're basically the same weapon, or like the same model weapon. Like if you look, the revolver looks the same as the sheer trigger. The cutting edge looks the same as the flame saber. The twin lance looks the same as the punishment. 1 second as I go into my menus. Now, of course, this long explanation is mostly coming from the fact that I believe it was LinkFan asked me about it. Another thing I do want to mention, though, is if you're not as beefy as I am and you take this guy on, do make sure you heal yourself after the fight. Because if you were to fight him normally without being able to overpower him so easily, he would probably, he has attacks that can bring you down to 1 HP. And if you're not careful, you could easily walk into this next fight that we're about to go into with only 1 HP on all your characters, leaving you very, very vulnerable. So just keep that in mind. Ah, great. Seriously, guys, this is some serious devotion that Raijin and Fujin will listen to suffer. Like, I understand friendship, but these guys are like really devoted. So Rajan looks like he's about to do something, but Fujin has other ideas. Hmm. They let her go. That was easy. So now it's becoming more like dissension among the ranks as Rajan and Fujin pretty much are quitting helping Sepher. And I don't blame him. Sepher has become kind of a nutcase, and if you guys look at his outfit, it looks extremely tattered. He has gone through some really wicked times. I mean, you'd think he'd have like a washing machine or something. So, Fujin is actually now going to start talking, and this is the first time we've ever actually seen her say more than say 3 words. Hmm. And I have to admit, these two are really true friends to Sepher because they will do whatever it takes to help Sepher fulfill whatever dream he may have. The only reason they're not helping him now is because what he's doing now really isn't his dream. He's basically just following what he's told. And now they make it sound as if they say that all they have now, all they can do is rely on Squall. Okay, seriously, why is that a bad thing? I've been very reliable up to this point. I've reliably kicked Sepher's butt 3 times in a row. I think I'm pretty reliable by this point. Huh. So they get out of here, and now it's time. Now Sepher comes down. Um, yeah, guys, I'm not gonna lie. Sepher is a pansy in this fight too. It's a real shame because he's such a cool character. Just they made Sepher such a pushover that it upsets me. It really does. I love cool characters, but you don't see them making Sephiroth a pushover in Final Fantasy VII. No, he's an awesome character, and they make him completely overblown. Hmm, that's for sure. Okay, guys, you can go through this entire fight without actually hitting Sephiroth, no joke, as long as you've obtained Odin. So we're gonna start this fight off, but we're gonna have one little thing happen. I think you'll all be kind of weirded out by this. Yeah, you want to explain to me why Odin is appearing? So apparently he wants to appear. So now he's breaking the rules because he's not supposed to appear during boss fights, but here he is, and now he's going to just straight up attack Sephiroth. So it's one-on-one. The final blow struck, and Odin is split in half. Ah, good lord. The sword sent into the air, but a new warrior has appeared. But who is he? We'll find out later in this fight. Okay, back to the fight. This is not difficult. In fact, this is extremely easy. Sephiroth has aura that you can draw from him. I recommend that you take as much time as you possibly can manage, within reason, to obtain as much as you can possibly obtain of this spell. I'm certainly going to. In fact, I'm going to obtain as much as I can possibly manage to in a few minutes. This might seem a little bit on the boring edge of things, guys, but, I mean, aura is pretty much the most wicked spell in this game, and this is the only way to actually obtain a good amount of it. In fact, this is the only time you can actually max out on it. Ah, great. Did I just draw the wrong thing? I hope I did. No, I don't want to cast Revive. That's a horrible idea. This is probably the only time you're ever going to see yourself being able to gain so much of it. So we're going to cast Haste among the 3 of us. Seriously, having your healer equipped with triple is a godsend because she's gonna that caster is gonna be able to pretty much throw out as many status attacks, as many stat buffers as possible, and among all 3 of you. Not to mention healing people. It's a breeze when you can heal 3 people at once. So overall, Sephiroth's not gonna do much to you. And here comes Angela. Dang, that had to hurt. In In fact, I do want to try something out though, because I want to see if this actually works. We're going to throw Meltdown and see if that actually does something to him. If you wonder what Meltdown does, it's a little bit of the same thing that I think it's like Vitality Zero. It really does, like, it weakens them supremely. It weakens down their physical defenses, so they can't, so they take more damage every time you hit them. So we're going to draw some more auras first. I don't have to draw too many though, at least not for Zell. So we're going to have Zell use aura now, because I want to actually, by request, I'm going to use his limit break more often now, like I said I was going to. Again, this dude doesn't even hit that hard. He's pathetic. And here comes Angela. And see, that proves it. Angela did a lot more damage that time because of Meltdown. So here he goes again with the flare attack, which won't do much damage to us at all. In fact, it doesn't do that much damage. In fact, flare is more of a spell you want to junction than use. So here we go with the beat down. Granted, I have not went through all of the necessities of gaining all of Zell's limit breaks, so he does not have much. But before anything else can happen, a new GF appears before us. I want to take Odin's place. If you're wondering which GF this GF is well known as Gilgamesh. And apparently Sephiroth gave him another sword. That was a very bad idea. So now Gilgamesh is going to end this fight for us. Now this little bit's only going to happen if you've obtained Odin. And I think that's a really neat thing, that the people who went out of their way to obtain Odin and go through that little mini quest obtain a really awesome scene out of the game. And this is actually affected. You know, this actually is something that happens when you do that. So I hope you all have enjoyed that one. That was actually kind of cool. That's actually one of the big reasons I was playing this game. I wanted to see that, so I got what I wanted. 40 AP, lots of abilities. So now, it looks as if Sephiroth is pretty much done for. And Rinoa, being the genius that she is, just walks off. Now, seriously, we've beaten Sephiroth many times before. What makes you think he's honestly done? I mean, come on, this is a horrible idea. So of course he gets right back up. And he runs after Rinoa. Great. Yeah, we've noticed. Okay, so now we have to go after Rinoa, but we have to pick out another person. Now, I'm gonna pick Irvine because, let's face it guys, any dude that can use a shotgun, and because Irvine is the only other person besides Selphie who has their ultimate weapon. So we're gonna switch over all of Rinoa's junctions over to Irvine. Of course, this is the point where level does make a difference, because if he was a higher level, he'd probably have higher health. But at this point, that doesn't really matter. So now Zephyr is bringing Rinoa to Adele. Great. Just great. Goodness. And now we end this scene on a very eerie note. This probably takes the cake over the last few times we've ended a CD. I can't believe I actually had to say we're ending a CD, because this is a PS1 game, guys. I mean, come on. This is just how we roll with this. So the scene ends with Sephiroth bringing Rinoa directly to Adele, who's still frozen at the moment. So now we have to actually come on and save it, which, as you guys can obviously see, I have a lot of different save files here. I'm going to assume the earliest one's probably one I want to save over. I've done this a couple times before, and had some interruptions if you guys have read my channel. So I had to actually make sure I could do this correctly. So we're going to save it over that one. And now I'm going to go switch to CDs, and we're going to pick up. I'm not done yet, guys. Seriously. I have a set place I need to stop this recording. I'm not done at that point yet, so I will be right back. So now we have got our team together. We have to actually go heal up Irvine because he's slightly low on health. You know, forget it. You guys are gonna see this. Who cares? At this point, we're so late in the game, guys. I could really care less if you guys see what I do. Meh. Okay, I got everything. We're good. Okay, let's go. So now you probably wonder, how do you actually get to the Adele's chamber that you need to get to? You actually gotta take this way, and first time I actually did this, I actually guessed. And I was actually right, which really kind of freaks me out. Come on, let me take the ladder. No, I don't want to go back. Ah, good lord, I don't want to go back down. Oh, okay, I can just go back up. Sweet. Alright, let's go. This way, and then you run this way. Seriously, for a giant box floating in the sky, this place is really elaborate. I mean, look at the scenery, guys. This is really impressive. Even for PS1, you can't really deny that. I think at one point I'm going to actually go into explaining certain kind of magic you want to have equipped to certain spells. I think that might be actually a useful thing to do. As much as it might seem annoying for me to do that, I'm probably going to do it. So now Renoa is pretty much pleading with Zephyr not to do this because, let's face it, guys, Zephyr is the most logically thinking person ever. So now, Zephyr, being the horrible person that he is, just throws Renoa. You see, throws her to Adele as a human sacrifice. As Adele, the most freaky-looking woman in the face of the earth, on the face of the earth, wakes up and is not very happy. I don't blame you. I really don't blame her for not being happy. I'd be pretty ticked. And those are not hands. Those are like claws. Huh. Okay. This is the Adele fight. Now, there really isn't much to this fight. I mean, seriously, there really isn't. Basically, you just need to pummel Adele until he dies and keep Renoa healthy. He's going to periodically drain health from Renoa. Now, there's one big thing about this fight. You cannot use limit breaks. You use limit breaks, you will end up killing Renoa. So, I don't know how much health Renoa actually has. So that's actually a really good question. As far as his magical ability, like he's using Meteor right now, I don't know. From what I've seen, he's not that powerful. Like, seriously, his magic spells are probably the weakest among any other magic user you may ever fight in this game. Just in general. His spells don't seem to hit all too hard, and, I mean, you shouldn't have too much of a problem. So I'm going to cast, where is it, Triple again. Remember to keep Renoa healthy. And also, you can also draw from Renoa and gain Asuna, Dispel, and Regen. I already have a bunch of Regens. Regen's actually a really useful spell for this. I'm going to see if we can't put Meltdown on this guy and see if we can't lower his stats a bit. Yes, we can. Sweet. Yeah, I highly recommend using Meltdown. That's a very useful spell to use because it will boost up your attacks just to an ungodly level. Meltdown is similar to Doom Train, although Doom Train tend to end up like more like a status cocktail where you just get hit with everything. Meltdown pretty much it lowers down their defenses immensely, making them pretty much weaklings. Basically, you do more damage to them, which makes life really easy. So we're just going to keep this up, and you do need to make sure you heal Renoa, so I'm actually going to do that right now because I don't know how much health Renoa actually has. Ow. So we're going to use Squall to attack, while we also heal Renoa, only. So casting Meltdown will pretty much guarantee you can do some serious damage. we're also going to throw on haste on everyone again. That should be probably one of the biggest things you should be doing, because aside from throwing out, say, your occasional other stat altering move, throw out, have your healer or whoever your main casters, and just have them use, triple haste. Okay, at this point, he's going to be wanting to cast his Ultima spell, which will probably do some serious damage. I'm going to actually prepare for this and cast Shell on everyone. This attack freaking hurts. Now, if I can kill her before she uses it, I will be good to go. But if I can't, I'm going to be in a world of pain, because this attack is probably what kills most people. Yeah. So if you can't kill him before she uses it, throw Shell on everyone prior, and it should reduce some of the damage. Granted, let's face it, guys, Ultima is just one of those attacks that just freaking hurts. So we didn't take very much damage. We took a lot less. Under normal circumstances, you would have taken a lot of damage, but we took down Adele rather easily. So yeah, when it says he's concentrating his magical energy, when it says she's concentrating her magical energy, that means she's preparing to throw out Ultima, and is preparing to throw out a really big whopping attack on you. Throw Shell on and be ready. Actually, throwing Shell on will pretty much guarantee you won't take a lot of damage, and will pretty much guarantee you'll survive the attack, as you noticed. You don't even need to have you don't even have to have a high spirit to survive the attack. Okay. So, Adele's now defeated, and if I recall, Renoa has now taken Adele's power, and is now being possessed by Ultimacia. So there goes Alone, sending Renoa and Ultimacia back into the past. And now she's going to fetch back Renoa and bring her back. So now at this point, time compression's about to begin. Now here's the thing, guys. Once this event happens, you can't do, unless you have Junk Shop, which I think is the only ability you need to have. You won't be able to go to any more after you do all this. You won't be able to go to any more towns, go to any more shops, for that matter. So just yeah, keep that in mind. But that's pretty much why I didn't do this part until after I finished my training and stuff. So now we get a rather odd scene of us falling. And we're actually getting a hint at who Alone chose to send everyone back, to send Ultimacia and Adele back to. And judging from all the faces I'm seeing mostly Sorceress Edia. So now we're being dropped into the time-compressed world. Will you shut up, Renoa? You're not going anywhere. We did not just spend most of this game so Squall can lose you. You must be out of your mind. So, lots of birds. Although I'm not too sure there really are birds, though. Yeah, guys, things get really kind of trippy from here on out. So here we go. We're still being put into the time-compressed world, which is a mix of the past, present, and future. And we are going to be put out in a place where we should all remember. The place where Edia was sitting during the sorceress assassination attempt. So here we are, and it's a save point. This save point also becomes a dozen other save points. That's really kind of creepy. Again, guys, I don't care if you see what I'm doing now, because at this point in the game it shouldn't really matter. Plus, I don't really care how long I spend doing this anyways. So we're going to do that. We are also going to switch our members around. Renoa, you're back with us. Where is it? Junction exchange, you back to her. Thank you. Yeah, lots of tents, guys. Lots of tents. Okay, everything's set up, everyone's healthy, everyone has their stuff again. I think everything's good to go. Let's go. So, aside from the fact that there's billions of save points in here, we're just going to keep on running. And now we're back in what seems to be the same room, but there's one thing magically changed here. Edia, or at least who we think to be Edia, is standing there and is like pulling like a warping thing. Like a multiplying thing. Look at her, she's like splitting. Alright, this is a long, not so much a long boss fight, especially if you're buffed up nicely. This involves you fighting numerous untamed sorceresses, and towards the end you're going to have to fight some really powerful ones, but they're only powerful if you let them use magic. The first few aren't that powerful. In fact, you should be able to dismantle them with 1 or 2 hits apiece. See? Again, we're going to throw on triple on Renoa. So, provided you go through the hassle like I did to obtain weapons and magic and other stuff you'll actually need, you should not have a hard time with this at all. In fact, this should be rather easy if you even, at this point in the game, I even made sure that Zell and Squall both have a really decent speed stat, so their bars fill up really fast. And Zell hits ridiculously hard. He hits a lot harder than I ever thought he'd ever be able to hit in this game. So now the swords are going to keep on coming down. I think there's maybe like 12 or so. I don't really remember. But as they keep coming down, we're going to get transported from place to place. And if you're wondering, those status effects that keep popping up on people, I have the spell 100 Pains Junction to Squall's attack. Now, if you don't know what Pain does, it's basically, it puts on the opponent, I believe, silence, darkness, and poison. Real nice little bit to have. So now we're going to continue. Same basic idea, guys. I'm just going to cast haste on everybody, like I normally do. They also have all 3 of the elemental level 3 magic: Firaga, Thundaga, and Blizga. So if you don't already have that, or if you're really into that type of collecting magic, you might want to take the time to collect it now. I'm not taking the time to collect it now. So we're just going to continually take them out one by one. And again, if you have a decent attack strength, you should be able to take these things out, or take them out really quickly. And here comes another one. Now, the ones with the big elaborate robes, those are the ones you might want to keep an eye on. Those tend to be the most, those tend to be the ones that have some serious kick behind them. And how are we back at Balbam Garden? Yeah, anything that can cast double or triple on itself is typically a threat. Did he just hit it for 9,000? That's ridiculous. Cast Recover on Renoa. See, I feel like I'm kind of doing this entire thing a misjustice because I'm able to take these things out so quickly. But in essence, that's what you really need to be doing, is because if you let these things live too long, they will really wail on you with their magic, and they have really good magic on them too. They also have a nice amount of health. They survived a 4K hit. So they obviously have more than like 4K health, so in that sense, they're not exactly pansies. Okay, so another one pops back down again, but I'm not going to attack her straight off, and we're in the fire cavern. Okay, now they're going to use Meteor. This could be slightly painful. I never had them actually use a magic attack on me, so I'm going to be kind of interested to see how much damage they do. Oh, jeez, they actually have been at 400s consecutively. That's really impressive. sweet. Ah, 6k. Ah, one hit KO, sweet. And here comes another one. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to throw out some Curigas and everybody. Again, triple godsend of a spell. Okay, they don't have more than 4k. They only have like maybe 4.5k health apiece. That's retarded. Judging from all of... Okay, this is the real sorceress you want to look out for. This one is the one you need to be on the guard for. It isn't she a freaky, freaky looking thing. Good lord. I think about this time as the best time to start pulling out some of the stops that you would normally pull out for, say, an actually decent opponent. And by decent, I mean any opponent that could actually do damage to me. Again, great. I have Meltdown Junction of something else on Zell. Great. What is she? Is she like groping on him? Okay, so we're gonna have Zell attack. Oh crap! Forgot to mention. When she does that, that means she is preparing to use her Ultima attack. I'm already ready for it, so we're gonna cast Shell on everybody. Oh crap! Did I already lose Aura? You gotta be kidding me. Great. This might be slightly painful. Again, be ready. It looks like everything nowadays has Ultima up its sleeve to throw at you. Now, if I can get off one limit break, and that one limit break can be Lionheart, I will instantly win this fight. Can I do it? That is the true question. Apparently, I can't do it. Oh well. So with Shell on, I shouldn't take too much damage. No, I don't. It cuts damage down in half, so that does make life really easy. Bang! Eat that. Alright, let's do this. Ah. Now is not the time for me to be getting cold feet with my limit breaks. Again, she's doing something really freaky with Squall. I don't really know what she's doing. And she goes down really easily. That's kind of depressing. Again, when she starts counting down, that means she's probably coming out with her Ultima attack in about 5 or so turns. So you cast Shell, you know, that will reduce the damage. Otherwise, you're going to take a lot of damage. And unless you have like a really high spirit stat, don't even attempt to try to take it. Like, it would have done at least 3,000 or 4,000 damage to me, at least. So, let that be a word to the wise. 2 Holy Stones, 9 Flare Stones, sweet. 55 AP, So now we've taken out the sorceresses, and apparently we're back here at Ida's house. Apparently this is before the house was taken down or destroyed or whatever you want to say. How odd. This game makes really good of never actually making it, of always managing to not make any sense. Hello. So now we get a good look at where our final battle will be taking place. The ultimate battle across time and space. Ultimacia's castle. Guys, there's been very few times when I can honestly say how freaking cool this is. Okay, jeez. Can I get out of here maybe? Okay, I think I can leave, can't I? The only reason why I'd want to leave is because there's actually a really good reason behind wanting to leave. Although I think if I just go up there, I should be able to do what I want to do. However I get up there. Okay. Whoa, there are a lot to see. People. This is really depressing. I have a really bad feeling they're all dead. So now we have to take this massively large chain all the way up to her castle. Alright guys, this is where the game is going to get kind of complicated, and it's going to take some time for me to come out and just explain everything. Oh, forgot about the portals. Those will take you just about anywhere you want to go, but we're not going to actually worry about that right now. Because at the moment, that's not really important. Those actually teleport you outside of this place somewhere else. And since I'm not familiar with where they take you to, we're not going to bother. So, here's a save point. I'm going to save it here. This ends the first of 3 recordings I'll be doing, finishing this game. This, of course, ends right before I get to Ultimacia's castle. The next one's going to end after I take out the 8 or so bosses inside of Ultimacia's castle. And the next one will be the final confrontation between myself and Miss Ultimacia. We are going to save this one. It's really matter. It looks like they're the same files. We'll save this one right here. Okay. That being said, stay tuned, guys. This is only going to get better, and I guarantee it. This is it. This is the big one. I'm going to go through with this all the way to the very end. So I hope you all stay tuned. Till then, this is Resobaso signing out.